Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 3. Last time we took on a series of odd jobs throughout the village of Otradnoye, ultimately culminating in cold-blooded murder. Now that the deed is done, we just need to go back to the head of the village and collect our reward. But before we do that, I couldn't help but notice there's a bit of vermin over here we haven't exterminated yet, so let's warm up by taking out these rats real quick. That's one down. Oh, and we've got a hornet coming in from the side. We'll try to carefully manage the distance between us so that we can get the first strike. There we go. Now we just have to take out the last rat. And there we go. That gets us a modest amount of experience points, a bit of fish bait, and 2 pieces of raw meat. Not bad for such an easy fight. Oh, we've also got a toadstool over here, so let's grab that as well. I think that's pretty much everything we had left to do out here. Yeah, nothing else is jumping out at me. There are a few areas on the minimap that are still covered with fog of war, but I can't imagine there's anything significant hiding in there. We'll take a quick stroll through those areas, just in case. There's the shepherd and his campfire, but I'm not really seeing anything hidden around his camp. Okay, I don't think we're missing anything, so let's just move on. At this point, we've hoarded a lot of fishing bait, so we might as well swing by the lake and put it to use. Atom RPG has a pretty basic, bare-bones fishing system, which is all handled through text prompts. Your chances of success are probably based on your character's survival skill, but there also seems to be a definite element of luck involved. Before you lies a makeshift fishing pole. Its float slowly bobs on the surface of the small pond. You know that the fish here love certain body parts of mutated insects and spiders, so if you have any, you can probably catch something. With some effort, you put a dry wasp leg on the hook and throw it in. Now all you need to do is wait. You yawn while looking at the clear surface of the lake. All is quiet. You blink a few times and look around. All's clear. You squash an annoying mosquito that tries to bite you on the neck and look around. Everything is quiet. You look around drunkenly and shrug to liven yourself up. All is quiet. And so on. And so on. A bite. Something pulls on the line, and you have to grab the pole hard to save it from going into the water with the bait. No luck. The fish probably got off the hook and took the bait with it. Before you is only a bare hook. So that should give you a general idea of how the fishing works. I'm sure you probably don't want to see more of it, so I'll take care of the rest off screen. And we're back. I just finished burning through all of our bait, which took about 24 hours of in-game time. We caught a total of 8 fish and 3 boots, which does come out to a small but notable net profit. Of course, we could always keep the fish and use them as food if we really wanted to, but they're so heavy, it's not really a practical option. It's generally going to be easier to rely on portable goods like canned meat, so for now we'll just sell off the fish, and we'll take the opportunity to sell a few other things too. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and move all of these fish into the trading menu. Unfortunately, the old boots are literally worthless. What else can we get rid of? Let's go ahead and dump that shiv. We'll drop off the hygiene supplies as well. I don't think they actually have any real use in the game just yet. And we'll dump these empty bottles. Actually, we'll hold on to those. We'll fill them with water when we get the chance. But we will get rid of this toadstool. And I think these old boots are just taking up space, so we might as well dump them. We won't get anything for it, but At least we'll get rid of them. And then in return, we'll grab all of these 9mm rounds. And we'll grab that duffel bag, of course. Not sure if he has it. Oh, there we go. Let's grab that pry bar. That actually exceeds the value of the goods we're offering him, so we'll balance out our offer with a few extra rubles. There we go. And trade. I think our business is done, so let's go ahead and jump into our inventory here. First, we've got our new pry bar that grants a +10 bonus to lockpicking. It's also a reasonable melee weapon, but a bit slow for my taste. And then we've got our new duffel bag, which grants a +7 kilograms to carry weight. Definitely useful, especially for a pack rat like me. With that taken care of, let's head over to the village leader's house and turn in this quest. Before you stands the head of the commune, Comrade Kovalev. He is wearing an old but nicely kept jacket. He looks about 60, but very well preserved for someone who lives in the wastes. Hello, so how did it go? It's done. The head presses his lips together and nods. Without a word, he pulls out a fistful of rubles from his inside pocket and hands them to you, without looking you in the eye. Here, 700 rubles. That's for the job. I thought I'd ask Petya to do this, the lad at the north gate. He's got a lot of fight in him. I wanted him to look in the traitor's eyes before he killed him, just to understand what it's like. Maybe it's for the best that you did it instead of him. Thank you. This money is a great help. The head silently puts the money in your hands. You silently take it from him. So, now that the deed is done, how about taking on a little more work? As you can see, we are honest people, and we reward honest work. A rare thing out here in the wastes. I'll say it now. If you agree, I will pay you much better. Fine. Look, the bandits had their spy in our village. I want to have my spy in their camp, and since you have shown yourself to be a very resourceful person, I would like to offer this job to you. It would actually be easier for you since you're new here. The bandits already know all of my boys, but you could easily gain their trust and infiltrate their gang. We need one of our men to walk into the lion's den. Can you be more specific? What is it that I have to do? Just work for them. Do what they ask you to do. Act like one of them. Just keep me informed of their plans. If I know what those bandits are planning, I might be able to come up with a plan of my own. I agree. It sounds interesting. Great. Now we only need to figure out how to get you into the camp. Was there anything interesting on the body of the traitor? Just this card. I heard that the bandits are creating their own official documents. Always seemed like a terrible idea to me, but on the other hand, I still think like I did in the old life. Now the criminals have much less to fear than in our old days. Yes, that might be just what we need. You should try showing that card at the Bandit Camp's gate. I know for a fact that you may approach it without getting shot. Probably. And there is a strong possibility that they will think you are one of their own. Sounds shady, but I'll do it. Just remember, I expect to get paid handsomely. Of course, don't even worry about that. I never went undercover, but I completely understand how hard it is. I will pay you well, and the village will be forever grateful. Now let me mark their camp on your map. You give your map to the head, and after some consideration, he carefully draws a cross on the spot the bandit camp should be. After reviewing your map one more time, he hands it back to you. There, done. This is where those bastards live. Also, you might need a gun for the job. I can help you with that. Go to the armorer. He will supply you. Good luck. Alright, we're pretty much done here. Let's go collect our free gun, and then it's time to finally leave Otradnoye. Oh, but let's turn on that turntable before we leave. That gets us a few extra experience points, and I think it's supposed to put on another song, but I'm not hearing anything. No, okay, I can slightly hear a different track. Now we just need to talk to the traitor real quick. I was sent for a weapon. You heard about it, right? I heard. I've got something fun for you. It'll take a man's head clean off his shoulders. The trader ducks behind his counter, and after a few moments, re-emerges with a pistol. Okay, that gives us our first handgun. Though I do have some doubts about a Makarov being able to take a man's head off. Still, I certainly can't complain. Now that we're properly armed, let's tie up a few other loose ends, and then it's time to head out into the Wasteland. Let's see, what do we have left to do here? I guess we should fill up those empty bottles real quick. Thankfully, there is a ready source of purified water here. There we go. Now let's just re-equip our knife real quick. I also wanted to talk to those new NPCs that showed up at the bar. Unfortunately, by the time I had finished doing all my fishing, they had already moved on. We'll just have to keep an eye out for them when we come back to Otradnoye in the future. There's also a book on this shelf here that I can read. It's owned by the villagers, so taking it would be stealing it, but they don't seem to mind if I just read it. I'm not actually going to read this out loud, though, because it's actually a 23-page short story. But the important thing is that my character gains a small amount of experience points just by looking at it. That's pretty much everything we can do in Otradnoye at the moment, though I'm sure the developers will be adding more content in the future. For now, I think it's about time that we finally headed out into the wilderness. Oh, but before we actually go out there, we should probably take care of our level up. Just like last time, we have 19 skill points to distribute amongst our skills. Speechcraft has treated us pretty well so far, so I'm going to put the majority of our points into that. I'd also like to put some points into barter, but this is one of those games that really rewards you for specializing. Yeah, we'll just put 5 points into barter for now, and we'll put some additional points into speechcraft, and then we'll put our last 4 points into one of the other utility skills. I think we'll go with technology. We're going to need that down the line. Alright, that's everything we needed to do, so let's get going. This is the game's world map, kind of. At the moment, we're looking at the mini-map readout of the world map, which obviously draws heavy inspiration from the classic Fallout games. You can see that points of interest my character's been told about are already highlighted. That includes the Bandit Camp, Otradnoye, and Bunker 317, which is where I'm supposed to be looking for General Morozov. The rest of the minimap is covered in fog of war, which is a bit odd because, once I exit the minimap, I have a completely clear view of the actual world map, which seems to be much more heavily inspired by games like Wasteland 2. It's possible that they may be planning to add fog of war to the main map at some point, but at the moment there's nothing that stops the player from seeing potential points of interest. It's also worth mentioning that at the moment a lot of these points of interest aren't actually finished. Now, we're supposed to be heading to the Bandit Camp, but it turns out we're starving to death, so let's take a quick moment to set up camp and cook some food. You can set up camp just about anywhere on the world map, which will load you into a semi-randomized camping map like this one. A lot of these camping maps are slightly different from each other, which I think is a nice touch. Sometimes you'll even find minor items or hazards scattered around your campsite, but the main focus is, of course, your campfire, which is what you use to prepare your food. We don't have much to choose from at the moment, so we're just going to grill up some rat meat, and that should take care of our hunger and restore a bit of our health. You will gain access to various healing drugs as you play through the game, but you'll most commonly be healing yourself with food. You can also check your character's basic needs by looking at their inventory screen, where you can see meters that track their current radiation level, their toxicity, and their hunger level. You can also access your crafting screen here, which can be used to make consumable items or even new weapons or suits of armor. But since that relies on the tinkering skill, which I've completely neglected, I probably won't be trying to craft anything anytime soon. Let's get back out to the world map. before we go much further, we're definitely going to need some more basic supplies, so let's swing by this mysterious cave over here. Like I said before, most of the side locations aren't finished just yet, but this cave is one of the few rare exceptions. It's not a very large location, but there are enemies to fight and loot to find, so let's take a look around. This whole cave is overrun with wolves. You can actually see one right up ahead. So let's switch off to our Makarov pistol and carefully approach this thing. Oh, here it comes. Okay, we'll take a quick shot at it, and now we'll back off so it wastes action points getting to us. Now we'll move back up and finish it off with our knife. There we go. That gets us 3 pieces of raw meat and 60 experience points. Not bad for a relatively simple little fight. Up ahead we can see the remains of a small campsite, along with its former owner. We can also see there's another wolf, so let's get our pistol ready. We'll do the same thing we did last time. We'll take a quick shot with the pistol, then we'll back off and wait for the wolf to come to us. Alright, that nets us another 60 experience points and a few more meals. It also gives us access to this camp, so let's take a look around. Since there's still no highlight function, we'll have to do a little pixel hunting here. There's some canned food over there. And we've got another wolf right down there. We'll take care of that in just a moment. For now, we'll grab these bottles and check out this box here. Okay, that gets us a bag of coffee. I don't usually use coffee, so that's just vendor trash for me. I think that's pretty much everything in the camp, so let's get our pistol ready and take on the next wolf. Just a little closer. There we go. Now we'll take a shot and run away. And that's wolf kill number 3. Now let's push up into the last part of the cave here. And this time we're up against 2 wolves. I'll try to kite one of them away from the other, but we're probably going to end up having to fight them both at once. Okay. Oh, nope, they're both coming right at us. We'll take a shot. Oh, we actually killed that one. Well, that definitely makes this a lot easier. I'm definitely getting pretty lucky here. Normally the wolves would get in at least 1 or 2 hits. While they don't have a whole lot of health, they can do a whole lot of damage, especially when you're running around without any armor. Okay, that clears out the last of the wolves, so let's collect our reward, and then I think we're pretty much done here. Like I said, this is a pretty simple location. There are a few enemies to fight and a few items to find, but there's not much. Whoa, hold on a second. There's something weird with this rock here. I've never actually noticed that before. Looks like we just found 7 rifle bullets, an F1 grenade, and some stimulants. That's good for some quick healing, but you can also end up getting addicted to it if you're not careful. Still, that was definitely a nice find. Obviously, there were some hidden stashes back at the village too, but they were a lot easier to see. I've been through this cave 3 or 4 times in the past, and I never noticed that I could interact with that rock. Let's backtrack real quick, just to make sure I'm not missing anything else. No, I guess that was pretty much it. I think that means it's about time to move on. I think the Wolf Cave here is a pretty good example of what most of the side locations will have to offer in the final version of the game. Right now, though, most of them are unfinished, and in some cases, such as with the locations over here on the northwest corner of the map, it will just straight up tell you that the location is still under development if you try to enter it. Now we do need to get over to the Bandit Camp so we can continue our current quest, but I'd like to stop by at least one or two more side locations, just to give you a better idea of what a lot of them look like right now. Let's head over to this gas station here. Oh, hey, I just got an achievement. So at least we know achievements are functional. Now our mini-map identifies this location as the Filling Station Fortress, which certainly sounds impressive. Unfortunately, once you actually get into the location, there's not a whole lot to do there. You can walk around the fortified gas station, but the developers haven't actually added any characters to the location just yet. Of course, as long as we're here, we'll walk around real quick and pick up a few loose items. It's mostly just toadstools, but I think there are one or two lootable containers inside the gas station. I'll be curious to see what the developers use this location for, once they've finished actually developing it. I'm assuming there'll either be NPCs you can trade with, or maybe it will be populated with bandits that you have to kill. And of course, now I'm also obsessively mousing over every single object, looking for more hidden stashes. There's some lootable containers. Let's go check those out real quick. Looks like we've got a fork. And some electrical tape. And this locker is locked, so we'll snap it open. And it's empty. Well, at least we got 16 experience points for breaking the lock. Okay, I think we've done pretty much everything we can do here. So let's head back to the exit grid, but we'll grab that one last toadstool on our way out. Alright, I think that's everything. Let's move on. Now let's go check out that truck over there. Then we'll head into the Bandit Camp and wrap up the episode. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Well, there's a corpse in that car over there. 15 rubles. We'll certainly take that. Now let's see if we can... Okay, we can loot the trunk. And that gets us some scrap metal, some vodka, and a couple of empty bottles. Now let's have a quick run around the rest of the map, just in case there's anything else. Nothing over here. There's some toadstools there, but not the kind we can interact with. We've got a truck over here. Oh, and another corpse. This one looks to have been stabbed in the back with a piece of rebar. Nothing on it, so let's go look at the truck. Well, it doesn't look like we can interact with the truck either, so I guess we're done here. Again, I can't help but wonder if the developers have more plans for this location. I feel like there should have at least been a few animals to fight, or maybe something to do with that truck. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the future updates. Here we are at the Bandit Camp. Now, of course, we're going to want to tread lightly here because we're definitely not ready to take on a whole gang of bandits. Since we've been hired to infiltrate the group, we'll focus on diplomacy for the time being, but we'll also keep an eye out for any potential opportunities to profit. While it is nice to help the villagers, it's important to remember that our real job is to find out what happened to General Morozov. Looks like they've got a guard with an assault rifle up front, and we can't interact with this building we're next to. The road goes around the side of the factory. Maybe there's an unguarded entrance. Well, there's another guard. Oh, and 2 more guards. Alright, maybe we should just try talking our way in. Before you stands a grim man with trimmed hair. He is wearing a black padded jacket. Upon seeing you, he spits on the ground in front of you and gets a better grip on his weathered assault rifle. He eyes you coldly. Hey mate, what made you turn up in this neck of the backwoods? I'm traveling. That's how I stumbled upon this place. Oh, so you're a traveler, huh? A real outdoorsman, huh? Why are you here, oh great strider? Out with it, now. Does this piece of paper tell you anything? The man looks at the card and smirks. After that, he takes his hands from the assault rifle and makes a few steps towards you. Got yourself a thief's passport, I see. This is getting interesting. Where'd you get it? In Krasnoznameni? Yeah, where else? Right, these cards are only made by those hacks in the big city. I don't respect them much, since our team isn't even part of the underground. Who are you all, then? We're almost a legitimate force of law, you know. Our chief already had a few talks with the Trade Council of Krasnoznameni. We need them to properly recognize us as an official strike force in the region. Like the Northern Guard, get it? Soon we won't have to loot the homes of nearby peasants. We'll tax them all proper-like. Heh. No punk will be able to join our mighty group then. Wow, what a scumbag. But let's keep it civil. I'm all for the power of law. The man looks at you with a smirk. You got twitchy real fast, man. I was just kidding. You're a tough son of a bitch. We always need those types of folks around. Let's pretend I gave you amnesty. So, how about that job? It's none of my business. Go see Dan, Dennis Denisovich. He's our boss. Ask him. He's in that house behind my back. He holds office there. Tell him you came from Kosoy, and maybe he'll give you some work. Thanks. Can I ask you something else? Go ahead. Why the hell not? Tell me about yourself. They call me Kosoy, and I work for Dan. Started even before the war, after I got into juvie. It's kind of a sad story if you think about it too hard. Tell me about Dan. He's a great guy, although he's not really one of the high-ranking thieves. He has a vision, you know? A plan for all of us. Sure. Can I ask something else? Go ahead. Tell me about this place. It's an old dilapidated factory. Hell if I know what they made around here. Bricks, I think. Now it's our base of operations. Our little army rests here between our valiant attempts to rescue local villages from all kinds of trouble. Well, I can't resist this option. And here I was thinking we're the bandits around here. You shouldn't think about it too much. It could bite you on the ass one day. Sure, we take our share from the profits of local simpletons, but we spend that money to protect them. In these lands there are so many freaks, mutants, and cold-blooded people crawling about that without our protection, those peasants would be dead already. If you say so. Well, that means we understand each other completely. What's the news around this place? Some say the Atom Organization is a real thing after all. I always thought only fools believed it to be true, but the other day I saw a large troop of soldiers with my own eyes. They were passing through Otradnoye village, and they weren't from Krasnoznameni or any place I know of. Yeah, real food for thought. Whoops. Well, that's my cue. I think I better go. Okay, we're just passing the 30-minute mark here, so we'll head over here into the corner house and have a quick chat with Dennis Denisovich. Then we'll wrap up the episode before we go any further. You see a tall, strong man in his 40s. He is armed and dressed like many of his comrades in the Bandit Camp, but one little detail sticks out. On the sleeve of his thick jacket is a sunburnt tag with blood type. It obviously came from some sort of a uniform. Seeing you approach, the man glances at you, as if evaluating your worth. If you have some business, you better speak to my boss. Let's see here. I just wanted to talk a bit. You can speak with my boss. I'm not the talkative type. You obviously didn't make a good first impression on this tough-looking man. He looks at you suspiciously and grips his automatic rifle tighter. Well then, I'll go. Before you stands a tall man in a dusty suit and with a leather holster on his hip. He looks nothing like the rest of the men out here in the abandoned factory. He stands straight, his hair is combed, his eyes radiate intelligence. On seeing you, he fixes his tie and says in a calm, measured tone, "I'm listening." "Dan, I presume?" "The same. And who are you? Your real name, please." Dan strokes his large mustache and looks you straight in the eye. You start feeling uncomfortable. He almost peers straight into your soul with his cold gaze. "Retcon." The boss writes your name in a small notebook. Then he looks at you as if waiting for you to keep on talking. I was sent here by Kasoi. It's about a job." "Oh, I see. And why did Kasoi think you'd make a good candidate? You see, we are looking for a very specific type of person." "I had a thief's passport." Job. The boss clicks his tongue. "I have a job for you. No, better call it a test. Look, go into the main facility, where we made our barracks. In there, go looking for a locked door. In front of it, there will be 2 guards. Talk to the one they call Shishak. He will give you the rest of the instructions." "A man of few words, yes? That's good. Be sure to return when you're done. We'll discuss your future." Okay, I think that brings us to a good stopping point. We'll pick up here next time as we track down Shishak and take on whatever test it is he has in store for us. But for now, this is RetconRaider, signing off. Thanks for watching. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Atom RPG, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official YouTube channel, or the store page on Steam. Links are in the description.